Inspirations from Henry Ford to learn. It is well enough that people of the nation do not understand our banking and monetary system, for if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning. When everything seems to be going against you, remember that the airplane takes off against the wind, not with it. Failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently. If you think you can do a thing or think you can't do a thing, you're right. Quality means doing it right when no one is looking. Thinking is the hardest work there is, which is probably the reason why so few engage in it. One of the greatest discoveries a man makes, one of his great surprises, is to find he can do what he was afraid he couldn't do. Life is a series of experiences, each one of which makes us bigger, even though sometimes it is hard to realize this. For the world was built to develop character, and we must learn that the setbacks and griefs which we endure help us in our marching onward. Whether you think that you can, or that you can't, you are usually right. It is not the employer who pays the wages. Employers only handle the money. It is the customer who pays the wages. If money is your hope for independence, you will never have it. The only real security that a man will have in this world is a reserve of knowledge, experience, and ability. Whether you believe you can do a thing or not, you are right. Nothing is particularly hard if you divide it into small jobs. Enthusiasm is the yeast that makes your hopes shine to the stars. Enthusiasm is the sparkle in your eyes, the swing in your gait, the grip of your hand, the irresistible surge of will and energy to execute your ideas. Before everything else, getting ready is the secret of success. Even a mistake may turn out to be the one thing necessary to a worthwhile achievement. The man who will use his skill and constructive imagination to see how much he can give for $1, instead of how little he can give for $1, is bound to succeed. Capital punishment is as fundamentally wrong as a cure for crime as charity is wrong as a cure for poverty. As we advance in life, we learn the limits of our abilities. Money is like an arm or leg, use it or lose it. I am looking for a lot of men who have an infinite capacity to not know what can't be done. Business is never so healthy as when, like a chicken, it must do a certain amount of scratching around for what it gets. There is no man living that cannot do more than he thinks he can. Exercise is bunk. If you are healthy, you don't need it. If you are sick, you should not take it. Competition is the keen cutting edge of business, always shaving away at costs. The highest use of capital is not to make more money, but to make money do more for the betterment of life. A market is never saturated with a good product, but it is very quickly saturated with a bad one. I do not believe a man can ever leave his business. He ought to think of it by day and dream of it by night. If everyone is moving forward together, then success takes care of itself. Anyone who stops learning is old, whether at 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning stays young. The greatest thing in life is to keep your mind young. My best friend is the one who brings out the best in me. Obstacles are those frightful things you see when you take your eyes off your goal. You can't build a reputation on what you are going to do. If there is any one secret of success, it lies in the ability to get the other person's point of view and see things from that person's angle as well as from your own. A business that makes nothing but money is a poor business. It has been my observation that most people get ahead during the time that others waste. Don't find fault, find a remedy. There are no big problems, there are just a lot of little problems. I believe God is managing affairs and that He doesn't need any advice from me. With God in charge, I believe everything will work out for the best in the end. So what is there to worry about? A business absolutely devoted to service will have only one worry about profits. They will be embarrassingly large. There is joy in work. There is no happiness except in the realization that we have accomplished something. Any color, so long as it's black. Most people spend more time and energy going around problems than in trying to solve them. There is one rule for the industrialist, and that is, make the best quality of goods possible at the lowest cost possible, paying the highest wages possible. The competitor to be feared is one who never bothers about you at all, but goes on making his own business better all the time. Wealth, like happiness, is never attained when sought after directly. It comes as a byproduct of providing a useful service. You can't learn in school what the world is going to do next year. Time and money spent in helping men to do more for themselves is far better than mere giving. We don't want tradition. We want to live in the present, and the only history that is worth a tinker's damn is the history we make today. The only real security that a man can have in this world is a reserve of knowledge, experience, and ability. An idealist is a person who helps other people to be prosperous. A bore is a person who opens his mouth and puts his feet in it. Whatever you have, you must either use or lose. History is more or less bunk. You will find men who want to be carried on the shoulders of others, who think that the world owes them a living. They don't seem to see that we must all live together and pull together. What's right about America is that although we have a mess of problems, we have great capacity, intellect, and resources to do something about them. I cannot discover that anyone knows enough to say definitely what is and what is not possible. Speculation is only a word covering the making of money out of the manipulation of prices, instead of supplying goods and services.